Maple Grove Police Department is updating its technology to better serve the community. Reporter Sonia Goins shows us how new and improved dash cams are making policing more efficient.
It's been 14 years since the Maple Grove Police Department upgraded its dash camera system.
So this is the dashboard view for the officers.
Officers say they couldn't be more excited.
I mean, over 14 years, technology's advanced quite a bit.
31 squad cars were recently outfitted with new cameras. There are 2 cameras in each squad. One checks out the front of the vehicle, and another is focused on the rear seat.
The system we have now is actually wireless, so when officers are out in the field and they record video, it's automatically uploaded into the cloud, so it's immediately accessible.
Police spokesperson Jonathan Weddernock says that the new devices are a huge improvement from the old dash cameras.
With our old system, we'd have to come back to the police department, come to a specific Wi-Fi spot, and then it would download the video, and then that video would then be burned to a Blu-ray disc.
Now, the cameras on these dash cams are pretty top tier. The picture is much clearer and the viewpoint much wider, allowing officers to capture better images.
Which is a benefit when we're out conducting traffic enforcement or need to record certain events.
The new squad cameras are the final stage of the department's technology upgrades. Maple Grove Police also implemented body-worn cameras, new tasers, and a new citizens' evidence submission system.
The entire project for all of our technology upgrades was about $1.5 million over 5 years.
In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Charges have been filed against a 30-year-old Brooklyn Park man accused of firing a gun at a Brooklyn Park police officer. The incident took place last Thursday afternoon when officers responded to a home on the 8200 block of Douglas Lane. Police say a man had entered the home without approval and began breaking windows as officers arrived. A standoff then ensued. According to the charges, at least one point, the officer and the suspect exchanged gunfire. Police also learned the suspect fired at a neighbor. Crisis negotiators eventually got the man to surrender. No one was injured. Some local projects are one step closer to receiving federal funding. The U.S. House passed an appropriations bill on Friday approving $18 million for 9 community projects in Minnesota's 3rd District. One of those projects is an upgrade to the Zachary Water Treatment Plant that is in eastern Plymouth. In the bill, the House approved $2 million toward the $3.5 million overhaul that will help make this facility more efficient.
We're planning to upgrade and retrofit the existing plant to be able to provide higher quality water to our residents, but also to reduce the amount of water that we use in the plant. So kind of conservation effort at our water treatment plant.
If the funding goes through, work will begin in April 2023. What do you get when you mix the rising popularity of pickleball with the growth of craft beer? In Maple Grove, you get a new business. A proposal is before the Maple Grove Planning Commission for a business called Pints and Paddle. It calls for a 33,000 square foot facility to be built right next to Crunch Fitness in the Grove Shopping Center. The business would have 10 indoor pickleball courts. It would also include a self-serve tap room and restaurant with indoor and outdoor seating. Pickleball, which is like a mixture of badminton, ping pong, and tennis, is America's fastest growing sport. That's according to fitness industry statistics. A Twin Cities nonprofit is on a mission to help make the dream of attending college possible for students from low-income backgrounds. As Elaine Cleveland reports, it's looking for young people to help serve as mentors.
Have you been working on your ACT stuff?
Applying for college can be overwhelming.
Yes.
It's something JoJo Misso knows all too well.
As I'm approaching my senior year, I feel like now it's time to actually talk about things that I was afraid to talk about.
Yeah.
Yet she has a huge advantage going into her senior year.
So these schools are the best for that.
She has Haley Fingelson to help guide her through every step of the college application process.
Me and her really have a really strong bond. I really appreciate her because she makes high school life way more easier for me.
There are programs that are available.
Haley is a coach from the nonprofit College Possible. She's a recent college grad herself, and it's her job to help students at Armstrong like JoJo fulfill their dreams of a college education.
We help them access knowledge to the different paths that they can take, the different financial resources, and are really just kind of like an extra helping hand to them to access something that's very new to them and is a very big step forward once you graduate. So it's just going to be a matter of execution.
JoJo immigrated from the African nation of Togo. She's involved with several activities at Armstrong and even started her own dance group. JoJo's goal is to attend college in London.
If you can keep that like in-state connection, but still being able to explore London like you want to, that can be an option as well.
Haley is working to help her make that happen.
College is very, very expensive, and we want to show them that you can still go to college. We want to make sure everyone has access to college, regardless of their background.
It's a message JoJo hears loud and clear, and College Possible is looking for more people like Haley to help share their wisdom.
It's very, very helpful. It's like having a second mom within the school.
In Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Benefits to being a College Possible coach include money that can be used to repay student loans or go toward grad school. For more information on how to be a coach, you can find a link at ccxmedia.org. If you've been to the store, you know school supplies are already out on store shelves. Nonprofits have kicked off their backpack and school supply drives too, including the nonprofit organization Honored to Help and organizer Scooter Drawn. Last year, with the help of community partners, he collected more than 2,000 backpacks and school supplies and gave them away to students living in the Zane Avenue corridor.
We want to increase. We want to try to get to 3,000 if we can. The more the better. The more we get, the more we can serve the community.
If you want to help, you can drop off a new backpack and supplies at any of these 3 Brooklyn Park locations: the Community Activity Center, Zanewood Recreation Center, or the Salvation Army on Noble Parkway. Of course, you can learn more on Honored to Help's website.
The Maple Grove American Legion baseball team was bidding for a trip to the state tournament after the Crimson High School team made the state tourney this spring. Here's Jason Malillo with highlights from their sub-state championship game.
Sub-State 11 title game in American Legion baseball, Maple Grove against Elk River. Top third, Elk River's Grant Stoltman strokes a hit to plate Owen Van Drell, and it's 2-0 Elk River on the 2-out single by Stoltman. MG bats were quiet until the bottom of the 5th. Brian O'Dwyer rips a ground ball through the hole to score Zane Vitens. Then Tanner Albeck's grounder is mishandled by the shortstop, and Cole Creer scores, cutting the ER lead to 3-2. Chayton Fisher lifts a deep fly ball to the fence, bringing home Albeck and Aiden McMahon. It's a 2-out double for Fisher, 6 runs total in the 5th for Grove, and they lead 6-3. Vitens closes the door in the top of the 7th, and Maple Grove is the Sub-State 11 champion with a 7-3 win.
We have all these guys that are playing football, playing hockey, playing baseball. We have multi-sport athletes, and we never give up. We always talk about that. We as a team, it's fun to be able to know that our bottom half can bring it into it. Like our last game, like our top half didn't do too much, but our bottom half, our younger guys that are sophomore JV kids, put the barrel on it and got us runs. So it's nice to rely on those younger kids.
The state tournament begins Thursday. We'll have more on Maple Grove and Sub-State 4 winner Hopkins leading up to the tournament. A Brooklyn Park-based soccer team will travel to Europe to play in the biggest youth tournament in the world. Jason Malillo reports.
A fun summer on the pitch.
It's a huge opportunity to play a soccer tournament out of the country.
Culminates with a special trip.
Definitely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I think, for a lot of them.
The Kickers FC U16 soccer team will travel to Europe in late July.
I'm just so excited to hop on that plane and head to Norway.
And compete in the Norway Cup, the biggest and one of the most prestigious youth soccer tournaments in the world.
It's just a fantastic opportunity for these kids to go across there and just get into the Norway Cup bubble in a sense and surround themselves with just football, tons of football.
Players and their families all chipped in to help raise money for the trip, and Kickers manager Andy Novak did a lot of work behind the scenes.
Straight from the start, everybody was on board and going, this is going to be a lot of work. And so we just got down to work, we set some stuff up. Andy Novak is connected to a trucking company, so we've done a lot of truck washing.
In their downtime, these boys will have the opportunity to learn about and soak in a different culture. But make no mistake, they're not going just to see the sights.
Going to another country, I mean, you want to win that tournament.
Our possession is really good, and when we get there, I'm pretty sure people will just click and people will just be determined.
In Brooklyn Park, Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Norway Cup runs July 30th through August 7th. On this week's CCX Fishing Tip, Terry Tuma talks about the use of swim baits for bass and walleyes.
Swim baits are extremely productive for largemouth, smallmouth, and walleye. And what we have to understand here is, first of all, you want to select the correct length of these. Generally speaking, anywhere from 3, 2.5, 3, up to 4 to 5 inches are ideal. Sure, 6-inch baits are targeted for big fish, but always remember, big fish don't always eat big food sources. In fact, there's been some studies done saying that these fish eat a lot smaller food sources than we as anglers really realize. But the big factor with a swim bait, one, is of course the retrieve. The slow, steady retrieve is the most productive, but don't rule out a stop and go or just a real crawl close to the bottom. And then two, in darker water, you want to pick out a swim bait that has a lot of tail action, something that's really going to vibrate. But there's so many different colors, different sizes. Yes, starting out with matching the hatch is an excellent way to start, but don't get hung up on match the hatch. Match the hatch does not always mean that you're going to catch a lot of fish. So be versatile, open-minded, work with swim baits. It's a lot of fun, very enjoyable, and also you can catch a lot of fish.